Good morning, guys. This is your writing lesson for May 19th. We are going to talk about subject and object pronouns. We will practice pronouns together, and then you guys will complete the assignment on slide number 4 and turn it in when you are done. So today's goal is I can identify and use subject pronouns and object pronouns, but what exactly does that mean? So a pronoun is a word such as he, she, or they, and it takes the place of one or more nouns. So if we have a sentence like, Elizabeth likes to eat Elizabeth's breakfast quickly, right? We don't need to repeat Elizabeth twice. Elizabeth likes to eat her breakfast quickly. All right, so a subject pronoun is a pronoun that tells who or what the action of the sentence is. An object pronoun tells who or what receives the action, right? So he studied dance for many years. Grandma made breakfast for him every morning. Okay, so he, she, we are the subject pronouns. And then him, her, or them are the object pronouns, okay? Those are the people receiving the action. Okay, so here we have subject pronouns I, he, they, we, she, and you. And then object pronouns them, us, me, you, him, or her. All right, so let's watch the YouTube video real quick.
All right, so grammarians, I want to talk to you about the difference between subject and object pronouns, but before we do that, let's start off with a little primer on what subjects and objects actually are, just generally for our grammatical purposes. So in grammar, the subject is the part of the sentence or clause that does a thing. The subject does a thing. The object, on the other hand, is the thing that is acted on, has stuff done to it. So the object has stuff done to it. So the subject acts, the object is acted upon. Let's give an example. So in the sentence, Raina wrote an email. The subject of the sentence, the doer of the thing, is Raina. Raina is the subject. The thing she is doing is writing an email. So Raina wrote an email. Email is the object of the verb wrote. It is the object of the sentence. Now, there are cases when a sentence doesn't have an object. For example, we could just say, Raina wrote. It doesn't have an object. It's just Raina's the subject, and then there is no object. This is what we call intransitive usage, but you don't need to write that down or anything. Now, understanding the relationship between email and Raina enables you to understand how subject and object pronouns are used. So when we're subbing out these nouns for pronouns, we can figure out which ones we have to use, because pronouns have different forms depending on whether or not they are subjects or objects. So Raina is a girl's name, and if we know that Raina is a girl, we can refer to her as either she or her. These are two of the feminine pronouns. One of these is a subject, and one of them is an object. She is the subject form, and her is the object form. So if we wanted to rewrite this sentence, speaking of Raina, we would say, she wrote an email. Not her wrote an email, you see. Because her is the object pronoun, and therefore is the thing that the object pronoun has stuff done to it, as opposed to the doer of things. She is the subject form, it's the doer. For email, it's easy. This just becomes it in all cases. The subject form and the object form are the same. Let's do a couple more examples just to shore this up, so you see what I mean. I give her a present. Right now, I is the subject, her is the object. Subject, object. But what if we switched it? What would it look like then? Well, it wouldn't be her give I a present, because since we're switching the subject and the object, we're going to be switching the pronouns that we use too. So it would be she gave me a present. Now, she is the subject form of her, and me is the object form, excuse me. Me is the object form of I. Get a little period in there. Boop. Same thing with they and he. So, they showed him a guitar. Why not? So, they is the subject, and him is the object. And let's give it the old switcheroo. He showed them a guitar. So now we do the switcheroo. Him becomes he. So we go from the object form, which is him, to the subject form, which is he. And then they, the subject form, becomes them, the object form. Now when it comes to you and it, you're in luck, because the subject and object forms of these are the same. So subject equals object with you and it. So I could say you give it a present just as easily as I could say it gives you a present.
All right, so we're going to stop there. There's only about 20 seconds left or so. So that's a quick video on trying to understand the difference between the subject and the object. The subject is the person doing the action. The object is the person receiving the action. She gives her a present. All right, so let's practice. It says, read each sentence, circle the subject pronoun, underline the object pronoun. So my little brother liked it too. So my is the subject pronoun. Sorry, my little brother, my describes the little brother. It is the object pronoun. He had to stretch to see them. He being the subject pronoun, them being the object. I love the color costumes they wore. I being the subject and they being the object. That should be underlined instead of, sorry about that. So that actually should be underlined. Okay, will you go with us next time? You being the subject, us being the object. Tell me what you think. Me being the, tell me I'm receiving it. You being the subject. Okay, so it's not always that very first pronoun, but you have to understand that it's the person receiving the action is the object, and the person doing the action is the subject. Okay? So I'd like you to practice. You are going to type in the box here. You will, it says underline the subject in each sentence. Okay, what I'd like you to just do is type the subject in each box right next to here, since we can't really underline. Down here, you write the pronoun in parentheses that can take the place of the underlined word. So pick the word that fits the sentence the best. And when you are done, you're going to make sure you turn this in. All right? And that's it for today. Going to discard my underlining. And if you have any questions, you're going to write me on the board on the writing teams page. Have a great day, guys.